Hello everyone, today our topic is how to create Wave invoice on Jotform submission. So here my objective is that I have created an order form in Jotform, and now whenever I'm going to receive a new form submission, then I'm going to receive a new order. So here my objective is that whenever I'm going to receive a new form submission from Jotform, then automatically I'm going to capture the detail of that form submission, and I'm going to use these details to first search for that customer in my Wave account. And if that customer already exists in my Wave account, then automatically I'm going to create an invoice for that order in Wave. So for this, what I need to do is I need to build a connection between Jotform and Wave. So for building this connection, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing sort of automation and integration. In Pabbly Connect, I have to use trigger and actions. In trigger application, I'm going to use Jotform. In action application, I'm going to use Wave. So how I'm going to build this connection? For that, let me take you to my computer screen. I hope all you can see my computer screen, and today we are going to see that how we can create Wave invoice on Jotform submission. So suppose we have created an order form in Jotform. Now by using this form, I'm receiving orders. So here what I want is that I want to create invoices for these orders, and I'm going to use this form submission details. By using these details, I'm going to create sales invoice in Wave. So for this, what I need to do is, I need to first search for this customer in my Wave account, and if that customer already exists in my Wave account, then automatically I'm going to create an invoice for this order. And if that customer doesn't exist in my Wave account, then first I'm going to create a customer in Wave, and then I'm going to create a new invoice for that order. So I want all this to happen automatically, and for doing this automatically, I need to use Pabbly Connect. Now with the help of Pabbly Connect, I'm going to build a connection between Jotform and Wave in such a way that whenever I'm going to receive a new form submission from Jotform, then automatically by using that form submission details, I'm going to first search for that customer in my Wave account, and if that customer exists, then automatically I'm going to create an invoice in Wave, and if that customer doesn't exist, then I'm going to first create a customer in Wave, and after creating the customer, I'm going to create an invoice with that particular form submission details. So I'm going to build this connection between Jotform and Wave without any coding and programming skills. And for that, I need to open a new tab and search for pabbly.com/connect. And it will take us to this landing page of Pabbly Connect. Here we have two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you don't have any account with Pabbly Connect, then you just have to click on this sign up for free button, and it will take only 2 minutes of your time, and you will get 100 tasks free every month. Or if you already have an account, you can just sign in and you will get to see this page. So these are all the apps that Pabbly offers, and we are going to use Pabbly Connect here. For that, I need to click here on this Access Now button under Pabbly Connect, and it will take us to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here this is the workflow section, and we can see all the workflows that we will create here. This is the folder section. We can create new folder here, and we can save any workflow in any particular folder that we want. Now here I want to create a new workflow. For that, I need to click here on this create workflow button, and this window will pop up. Here I have to name my workflow, so I'm going to name it as my objective, which is to create Wave invoice on Jotform submission. And now I'm going to select the folder where I want to save my workflow. So I'm going to open this tab, and in this tab I will find all the folders that I have created in my Pabbly Connect account. And here I have this particular folder of Jotform, so I'm going to select this, and I'm going to save my workflow in this particular folder. Now I have to click on create. And it will take us to this most important window of our workflow. Here we have two boxes, trigger and action. So these are the two main principles on which our workflow works on. And trigger says when this happens, action says do this. So trigger is going to be the first step that will get executed in our workflow, and action will just follow that. So we have to set up our trigger first, and here my trigger application is going to be Jotform. So I'm going to select Jotform here, and now I have to give a trigger event. So I'm going to open this tab, and new response will be my trigger event. So I'm going to select this, and now I have to connect Jotform in my workflow. So for that, what I need to do is I need to use this webhook URL, and this webhook URL is going to work as a bridge between Jotform and Pabbly Connect. Now for connecting these two accounts, I need to follow all these instructions. And first I'm going to copy this webhook URL. I will take you back to my Jotform, and in this I'm going to use this particular form of order form, and now I'm going to connect this form with Pabbly Connect. So for that, what I need to do is I need to go to settings, and in settings I will go to integrations, And in integrations, I'm going to search for webhooks. So here I'm going to open webhooks. And here I have to add my webhook. So I'm going to clear this. And here what I need to do is I need to paste that webhook URL that I have copied from Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to paste that here. And I need to click on complete integration. And my integration is ready. Now what I need to do is I need to go back to Pabbly Connect. And here we can see it is waiting for webhook response. So how I'm going to get this webhook response? For that I need to create a new order by filling out my form. So for that what I need to do is I need to go back to Jotform. I will go to publish. And here I'm going to open this form in a new tab. So I'm going to click here. And here this is my form. So I'm going to fill this form. And here I have to give the name of my customer. So my first name will be demo. Last name will be user. Now I have to give an email. So my email will be demo@pabblytudes.com. And I'm going to give a random phone number for my customer. So this is my customer phone number. And now I have to give the product name. So my product will be of LED bulb. So this is my product name. And now I have to give the quantity. So my quantity will be of 10. So my bulb price is of 100 rupees. And now I'm going to give the item description. So my product is of bulb. So I'm going to give bulb as a description. And now I'm going to give the invoice date and the due date. So I'm going to fill invoice date and due date. So here I have filled all my details. Now I'm going to click on submit. And I have successfully submitted my form. Now what I need to do is I need to go back to Pabbly Connect. And here we can see I have received this response. So in this response, I have received all the details of my form submission. So here I have the customer name, which is demo. I have the last name, which is user. Email is demo@pabblytudes.com. I have the random phone number. And I have the quantity, which is of 10. I have the product name, which is LED bulb. And I have the item description, which is of bulb. And I have the price of 100 rupees. So here I have received all these details from my form submission. And these are my order details. Now what I need to do is I need to use all these details. And first I need to search for this customer in my Wave account. So for that what I need to do is I need to set up my actions tab. So I'm going to open this tab. And here my action application is going to be Wave. So I'm going to select Wave here. And now I have to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab. And get customer by email will be my action event. So I'm going to select this. And I'm going to connect Wave with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click here on connect. I will click on add new connection. And I will connect with Wave. And now I have to scroll down and I have to click on allow access to give access to my account. So I'm going to select that. And my connection here is successful. Now here I have these two tabs. So I have already selected my business, which is of Pabbly. So this is my business account name. And now what I need to do is I need to give the customer email to search for that customer in my Wave account. So I have received the customer email from my Jotform submission. So I'm going to use that and I'm going to map that here. So for that what I need to do is I need to use mapping. And what mapping is a technique through which I can retrieve the data from the previous steps, and the data that is changing will get replaced with the new data in the real time. So for mapping I have to click here. I will open the response of Jotform. And here this is my email address. So I'm going to map this. And I have mapped my detail. Now what I need to do is I need to click on save and send test request button. And here we can see I have received the response. So this is a positive response and this means that this customer already exists in my Wave account. So here I have this customer node ID. So this is only going to be present if that customer exists in my Wave account. So I have received this ID. So this is also my customer ID. And here I have received all these details of my customer. Now that this customer already exists in my Wave account. So here what I need to do is I need to create an invoice with all the order details in Wave. So for that what I need to do is I need to add my actions tab here. And here I'm going to use router. And by using router, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two different routes. So in this route, what I'm going to do is if that customer already exists in my Wave account, then automatically I'm going to generate invoice with that order detail. Then I'm going to create a different route. And in that route, I'm going to first create a customer in Wave account. And then I'm going to generate the invoice in Wave. So for that, I need to first give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab. And conditionally run will be my action event. So I'm going to select this. And I'm going to connect router by Pabbly. So I'm going to click here on connect. And here I have these two routes. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to first rename this first route. And I'm going to rename it as if customer exists. So this will be my route name and I'm going to update this. So I'm going to set my condition in this route, and on the basis of my condition, I'm going to set up my actions tab. So this is going to be my first route. So I'm going to set filter and action steps in this. So I'm going to go to set filters and action steps. And first I have to set up my filter. So for the filter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a filter if my customer already exists in my Wave account or not. So for that, what I need to do is I need to give us label, filter type and value. So for my label, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this tab and I'm going to open this response of Wave get customer by email. And in this, I have this particular label of customer's node ID. So this is only going to get present in my response if that customer already exists in my Wave account. So I'm going to select this as my label. And here my filter type is going to be exist. So here what I have done is that I have set up my label and filter type. And here what is going to happen is that if this particular label exists in my response of get customer by email, then my filter will work and I'm going to get the response of success. So if this label exists in my response, then this will mean that this customer already exists in my Wave account. So for this, what I need to do is I need to click on save and send test request button. And here my status is success and my condition is true. Now what I need to do is I need to generate an invoice in my Wave account. So for creating an invoice, what I need to do is I need to add one more action step here. And I'm going to use Wave as my action application. So I'm going to select Wave here. And now I have to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and create invoice with basic details will be my action event. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to connect Wave with Pabbly Connect. So I'll click here on connect. And I have already built a connection between Wave and Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to use this existing connection and I'm going to click on save. And here I have all these tabs and I have to fill all these tabs to create an invoice in Wave. Now here, before creating an invoice, what I need to do is I need to get the product ID for the products that I'm going to receive as a response from my Jotform. So how I'm going to get the product ID for all my products that I have in my Wave account. So here in this drop down, I'm going to find all my products. And for getting the product ID, I have to first select my product and I'm going to toggle on this map button. And here I have received this product ID. So this is my product ID for my product of INX9i. So I'm going to copy this product ID. And similarly, I'm going to use all these product ID and my product name to create a lookup table. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle off this button. I'm going to close this and I'm going to add an action step between these two steps. So I'm going to click here on this add action step button and here I'm going to create a lookup table. So here my action application is going to be lookup table. So I'm going to select lookup table here and now I have to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and lookup table will be my action event. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to connect lookup table with Pabbly Connect. So I'll click here on connect and now I have to set up my lookup table on the basis of my products and my product ID. So I'm going to receive my products from my response of Jotform and I'm going to get the product ID from this table. So here I'm going to set up my table and I have showed you how you can get your product IDs for your products from Wave. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my lookup table and here I have set up my lookup table and on the side of label I have my product names and in the value I have my product ID. Now what I need to do is I need to get my lookup key. And in the lookup key, I'm going to use my product name that I'm going to receive as a response from Jotform. So here for the lookup key, I'm going to click here. I will open the response of Jotform. So in this response, I have the product name, which is LED bulb. So I'm going to map this. So this product name is going to be my lookup key. And I'm going to find this lookup key in my lookup table. And I'm going to use this lookup key to get the value of product ID. So here I have mapped my product name. So I'm going to click on save and send test request button. And here we can see I have received the response. So in the response, I have my result value. So this is my product ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this product ID to create an invoice in Wave. So here what I need to do is I need to open this tab of router again. And here I'm going to open this route of if customer exists. And here I have to open this action tab. So I'm going to open this tab. And now I have to fill all these details to create a new invoice in Wave. So first what I need is I need the customer ID. So for the customer ID, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on this map button and I'm going to clear this default response. And now I have to map my customer ID. So for the customer ID, I'm going to open the response of Wave get customer by email. And in this, I have this customer node ID. So this is my customer ID. So I'm going to map this. Now what I need is I need the product ID. So for mapping the product ID, what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle on this button of map. I'm going to clear this default response, and I have received my product ID from my lookup table. So here I'm going to open the response of lookup table, and in the value I have my product ID, so I'm going to map this. And now I have to map all these details like item description, price, quantity, and I have received all these details from my response of Jotform. So I'm going to map these details. So I have to click here. I will open the response of Jotform, and first I'm going to map my description. So this is my item description, which is of bulb. So I'm going to map this. Now I'm going to map the item price. So this is the price, which is 100 rupees. So I'm going to map this. I'm going to map the quantity. So my quantity is of 10 items. So I'm going to map that. Now I'm going to give the currency. So my currency is in INR, which is for Indian rupees. So I have typed that. Now I have to give my invoice title. So my invoice title is going to be of new sale. So this is my invoice title. And now I have to scroll down. So here I have mapped all the required details. And now what I need to do is I need to scroll down. And I'm going to click on Save and Send Test Request button. So I'm going to click here. And here we can see I have received the response. So this is a positive response, and this means that I have created a new invoice in my Wave account. Now to check this, I'm going to take you to my Wave account. Now in this, I will go to Sales and Payments, and I will go to Invoices. And here we can see I have just created this new invoice. So I'm going to open this, and this is the invoice for my customer, which is demo user, and the amount is of 1000 rupees. And here this is my invoice. So it was billed to demo user, this is the address, and the email is demo@pabblytudes.com. My amount is of 1000 rupees, and here I have my item, which is of LED bulb, quantity is of 10, and the price is of 100 rupees, and the amount is of 1000 rupees. So here we can see that these are all the details that I have received as an order from my Jotform submission, and I have used all those details to create an invoice in my Wave account. So here my connection between Jotform and Wave is working successfully, and this customer was already exist in my Wave account. That's why I have automatically created an invoice in Wave. Now let me take you back to Pabbly Connect. I will close this. Now what if my customer doesn't exist in my Wave account? Then what I need to do is I'm going to first rename this route. So I have to click here on this 3-dot button, and I'm going to click on rename. I'm going to clear this. And I'm going to rename it as if customer does not exist. I'm going to update this, and I have created this new route. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up, and I'm going to open my trigger response, and I'm going to recapture this response. So I have to click here on this recapture webhook response. I'm going to click on yes, and now it is waiting for webhook response. Now what I need to do is I need to go back to my Jotform. I'm going to open this form in a new tab. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill details of a new order, and in this I'm going to add the detail of a new customer that does not exist in my Wave account. So here I have to fill all these details. So here my first name is going to be Jack, last name will be Karis, my email will be jackkaris12@pabblytudes.com. I'm going to give a random mobile number, and now I have to give a product name. So my product name is going to be Infox9i. I'm going to give the quantity will be 2. I'm going to give the price. So the price of this phone is of 5000 rupees. I'm going to give the item description, which is of mobile phone. And now I have to give the invoice date and the due date. So my invoice date is going to be 1st of May 2024. And similarly, I'm going to give the due date, which will be 5th of May 2024. And here I have filled all these details. Now I'm going to click on submit. And I have successfully submitted my form. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect. And here we can see we have received this new response. So in this response, I have the detail of my new order, and in this I have the new customer, which is named as Jack, last name is Karis, and the email is jackkaris12@pabblytudes.com. Now here what I need to do is I need to scroll down. I'm going to open the response of router, and in this route of if customer does not exist, I'm going to set my filter and action steps. So I'm going to open this tab, and here I have to first select my label and filter type. So I'm going to use the same label. So I'm going to open this response. I'm going to open the response of Wave get customer by email. And in this, I'm going to use this label of customer not ID. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to give my filter type. So I'm going to open this tab, and does not exist will be my filter type. So I'm going to select that. And now what is going to happen is that if my customer does not exist in my Wave account, then I'm not going to receive this label of customer ID in my Wave get customer by email response. So here I have set up my filter. Now what I need to do is I need to click on save. And now what I need to do is I need to add my action steps. So if this customer does not exist, then what I need to do is I need to first create a new customer in my Wave account. So I'm going to click here on this add action step button. And again, I'm going to use Wave here. So I'm going to select Wave. And now I have to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and create a customer will be my action event. So I'm going to select this. And I'm going to connect Wave with Pabbly Connect. So I'll click here on connect. And I have already built a connection between Wave and Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to use this existing connection. So I'm going to click on save. And now for creating a customer, I have to fill all these details. So I have received all these details from my new Jotform submission. So I'm going to use those details. And here I have to give my customer or business name. So I'm going to click here. I will open the response of Jotform. And here this is my new response of Jotform. So here this is the first name of my customer. So I'm going to map this. I will give a space and I'm going to map the last name. So here this is going to be my customer name. Now I'm going to give the first name. So I'm going to open this response of Jotform. And here this is my first name. So I'm going to map this. Similarly, I'm going to map the last name. Now I have to map the email. So I have to open this response of Jotform. And this is my email. So I'm going to map this. Now I'm going to map the mobile number. And here I have mapped all the required details. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to click on Save and Send Test to Quit button. And here we can see I have received this response. So this is a positive response and this means that I have created a new customer automatically in my Wave account. And here I have received this customer ID. So this is my new customer ID that I have received after creating a new customer. Now to check this, I will take you back to Wave. Now I will go to customers. And here I'm going to search for my customer which is named as Jack Karras. And here we can see I have created this new customer which is named as Jack Karras and the email is jackkarras12@pabblytudes.com. So I'm going to open this and here I have successfully created this customer and this is the mobile number. So here we can see that I've used the detail of my new form submission from Jotform and I have automatically used those details to create a new customer that doesn't exist in my Wave account. Now let me take you back to Pabbly Connect and now this customer exists in my Wave account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new invoice in Wave. So I have to click here on this add action step button. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Wave again. Now I have to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and create invoice with basic details will be my action event. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to connect Wave with Pabbly Connect. So I'll click here on connect. So I'm going to select my existing connection and I'm going to click on save. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the same steps that I did in my previous route. So I'm going to map my customer ID. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to clear this. And here I'm going to receive my customer ID from my previous tab of Wave create a customer. So I'm going to open that. And here this is my customer ID. So I'm going to map this. And now I'm going to map my product ID. So I'm going to find my product ID from my lookup table. So I'm going to click here on this map button. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this response of my lookup table and here this is my result value which is for my product ID. So I'm going to map this product ID for this product of Invoice 9i. So I'm going to map this and now I have to map all these other details. So I'm going to map my item description. So I have to click here. I will open the response of Jotform and here this is my item description. So I'm going to map this. Now I'm going to map my item price which is of 5,000 rupees. Now I have to map my item quantity. So my quantity is of 2 items. And now I'm going to give my currency which is in INR. Similarly, I'm going to give my invoice title which will be of new sale. And here I have filled all the required details. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on Save and Send Test to Quit button. And here we can see I have received this response. So this is a positive response and this means that I have created a new invoice in my Wave account. Now let's go back to Wave. I will go to invoices. I will go to all invoices. And here we can see I have created this new invoice for this customer which is named as Jack Karras. So I'm going to open this. And here we can see that I have created this new invoice. So it was billed to Jack Karras. I have the email which is jackkarras12@pabblytudes.com. And here my item is Invoice 9i. I have my quantity which is for 2. I have the price which is of 5,000 rupees. And my total amount is of 10,000 rupees. So here we can see that I have used all the detail of my new form submission from Jotform and I have used those details to create a new invoice in my Wave account. So here my connection between Jotform and Wave is working successfully and whenever I'm going to receive a new form submission from Jotform, then automatically I'm going to search for that customer in my Wave account, and if that customer exists, then automatically I'm going to generate a new invoice, and if that customer does not exist in my Wave account, then I'm going to first create a customer, and after creating the customer, I'm going to create a new invoice for that customer. So here my automation is working successfully, and now I'm going to create new Wave invoices on Jotform submission. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect, and here I have successfully created this connection between Jotform and Wave, and here my automation is working successfully in such a way that whenever I'm going to receive a new Jotform submission, then automatically I'm going to create a new Wave invoice. So let's summarize what we did here. So first I have set up my trigger, and my trigger application was Jotform, and my trigger event was new response. Then I have set up my action step, and my action application was Wave, and my action event was get customer by email. Then I have set up my lookup table to get my product IDs for the products that I'm receiving as an order from my Jotform submission. And in the end, I have used router, and in router by Pabbly, I have set up different routes on the basis of my condition. So this is how I have successfully created this workflow, and you can also create this workflow by following all the steps that I did in my workflow. And I'm also going to put the link of my workflow in the description so you can check it out from there, and thank you for watching this video. Not just these applications, you can automate and integrate a lot more applications like this by using Pabbly Connect. So if you want to reach out to us, then email us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, then you can write us at forum.pabbly.com, and if you have any issue with the pricing, then you can visit this link. And if you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.